Johnson, and we are continuing our trip here in Southern Florida. We have come to First Presbyterian Church of Pompano Beach, known as the Pink Church, for obvious reasons. And with me again is Bob Vogel. He's been taking me around to many of these instruments down here. And today, tell me what kind of organ we're sitting in front of today.
So we are sitting in front of originally a Schantz, which was 4 manual and 40 ranks, with lots of preparations. Over time, they added another 5 ranks. And then in 1989, Bunn and Minnick added some additions. And then in, around 2000, Colby prepared to add, and over time added a lot of digital stops to the organ.
They also built this beautiful console that's here, but we have, a lot of digital stops in this organ, but we still have the original, the Bunn and Minnick and the Schantz, some of the pipe work in here, up in chambers in the front. And then I would say also, Colby also added this antiphonal in the back with a very striking case and 1 rank of pipes in digital. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. You've got all the notes there on what's what, so we're going to work our way through this instrument. And I'd like to start over there on that side of the organ. We have the solo grate and choir. Take us through what our real pipe work is here in the grate.
The 8-foot principle. Four-foot octave. Adding the 4-foot. Two-foot super octave. Eight, 4, and 2.
Yeah, we've got a lot of brightness, a lot of speech and articulation on that chorus there, but it's way back up there in that box too. So it's I think it's tempered a little bit by the time it gets out into the room.
Indeed.
Okay.
Mixture 4 rank to 6 ranks. So we'll build up the chorus from 8-foot.
That mixture is very brilliant, but it's not too loud, so that it just caps the ensemble very well there. All right, what else do we have in there?
A violone unit rank plays at 16 and 8. Nice bottom.
Yeah.
And then going into the flutes, there's a metal Borden. And then there's a Holzgedeckt. Comparing them, the metal, the wooden one.
Nice contrast there. Yeah.
4-foot walled flute. The 8 and 4-foot flutes together. And there's a 2-foot Zauberflöte. So the 8, 4, and 2.
Yeah, nice colorful flutes and not too loud. They're kind of subtle for that division. All right, let's go over to the choir division now and talk about what we have in here.
8-foot leadless gedeckt on the choir.
Even more gentle than the great, yeah.
And there's an open knocked horn, 4-foot. And then a 2-foot block flute. So the 8 and the 4-foot. And the 2-foot. Compared to the great.
Very gentle, but colorful. Okay.
And there's a 2 2/3. So building up the cornet, 8, 4, 2 2/3, 2, 1 3/5.
Nice gentle cornet there. I know we've got some bigger ones hidden in the other divisions, so we have a nice little soft one there. Okay, we have a couple other things in this division too.
The Gemshorn, and there's a Tennessee Celeste for it.
And we should say this is an expressive choir division. It's all behind shades up there, so we can close that down. Very nice.
The Dulciana is also pipe, and it's Undamaris Tennessee Celeste.
Really soft, softer than the noise coming in from outside, unfortunately.
Hopefully the microphones can hopefully pick that up.
I'm sure they can. But it's a lovely, gentle sound, and being able to close it down to nothing is nice. All right.
So there's a 4-foot Preston. The 2-foot would be the block flute, and there's a 1-foot octave.
So that's more fluty than.
Principali.
So I would think you could probably add that Preston to the cornet, and that would give you a little more biting sound. Yeah.
So building up the cornet with the nocturne is a 4-foot.
And you could put the 1-foot on top of that even to give it a little more punch and brightness. We have a real mixture in here. A 3-rank Carillon, is that what that says?
Yes.
And so how would we...
1/3 foot.
wonder how we'd build up a sense of a principal chorus with what we have. So the Gem's horn, the flute, the prestant. Kind of a little positive chorus there, Brighton.
Bright.
And 4-foot bass. So, okay. And then there's one reed in the choir that's real, correct?
The clarinet.
Yeah. We have a solo division on the top manual of this organ, and there's just really one real rank of pipes in there. The rest is all digital. It's our big trumpet heroique. Let's hear what that sounds like in here. Nice big trumpet there. Can't argue with that. All right. Just a couple of other things I want to hear. Just for comparison, we have, let's hear the Corno de Bassetto. It's a digital stop, but I'm just curious to hear what it sounds like in there. And it goes all the way down to 16. Rumbly corno. Then we have an English horn as well right next to it. Yeah, let's hear the flugelhorn. I'm curious how that... Okay, very nice. And just for comparison, yeah, we've got a set of reeds, 16, 8, and 4 here. This is the 8-foot trumpet. Let's hear all three of them together. There's where a lot of the power in this instrument is, up in that solo division. We have a number of softer things there and some solo stops, but there's a full specification, a link to it down in the description, so if you want to look and see what all the digital stops are. But we're going to come over to the Swell and listen to that, so I'm going to come around to this side so people can see. So over on this side, we have our Swell, antiphonal, and pedal division. So let's start with the Swell. We have a number of real things here in the Swell.
8-foot principal.
That's a large scale but gentle principal there.
And the 4-foot octave. Played down an octave, 8/4. So in the great, the 8-foot is bigger than the 4-foot. Where on the Swell, it's the opposite.
I feel like we're hearing some of the original Schantz colors in here, from especially knowing what's coming up. All right, what's next after that? 2-foot.
And the 2-foot doublet. Eight, 4, 2.
Brilliant little ensemble there.
Then it's a plangeur.
Oh.
3 to 4 ranks.
Okay.
The 8-foot principal, 4-foot octave, 2-foot doublet, and the plangeur.
we're not done yet.
Then there's a half-foot cymbal that goes on top of that.
Quite a bit of sparkle there in that chorus. All right. All right, what's next on
And
our
then
list?
flutes, 8-foot chimney flute. Four-foot flute harmonique. The 8 and 4. There's a 2 2/3. And a 2-foot abec. And there's a digital tiers to complete the cornet.
Okay.
So here's the full
hear it.
cornet.
It's a situation where just the addition of one little digital stop changes that chorus completely and gives it a whole new usability. So let's hear then the flute cornet.
So this is the swell cornet compared to the choir cornet.
So a little bigger, a little brighter. That's nice to have that option. Okay. And we have some strings.
So we have a viola da gamba. And a matching celeste. There's an 8-foot flute doux with a matching celeste tenor C.
Yeah, very nice.
But it also works nicely with the royal flute, the chimney flute. Of course, the chimney flute
It's a little different.
overpowers it
Yeah.
some more than the flute doux, which is to be expected.
And I think that's all the real flues in there, correct? And then we go to some reeds.
On the swell, there are 4 pipe ranks. The trumpet, and a 16-foot. And a 4-foot clarion. Sixteen. 8. 4.
Very nice.
And there's an 8-foot oboe.
Very nice. And then also there's one more in there, isn't there?
The Vox Humana.
Is that real?
There are 2 vox humana.
Tuba.
And then there's the digital box. A little more nasally.
Yeah, what is the name of that?
It's named after someone.
It's named after
It
that.
was
What's
donated by
I see.
Richard Fishbeck.
So Richard Fishbeck Voxumana. Okay,
Voxumana.
that's why. All right, good to know. So that's everything there in the Swell division. Before we leave the manuals, though, we do have an antiphonal that has one real rank of pipes, and it's a violone, correct? At 16.
Violone at 16.
Yeah, and that plays in the pedal.
And 8 foot in the manual. Compared to the Swell principle,
Sounds more like the violone that it comes from. So, all right. And that continues up with the full chorus, but it's all digital stops back there. Let's look. We have a few real things in the pedal as well now.
so the pedal metal principle.
That sounds like the same as the 16-foot contraviol. Play the bottom octave there, low B. Some little issues there, but okay. So the metal principle is actually just added onto the viol because I don't know. Play. Okay, so it's a different stop, the violone, but it has for this contraviolone, the bass comes from the metal principle in the pedal. So they've just done some creative wiring to give us a 16-foot in the grate. Okay, what else we have?
So there's an 8 foot mantra that's independent. And a 4 foot prestante. So the 4 foot is extended to 2 foot
Okay.
in the pedal. And then we have a 4 rank Rauschpfeife. So 16, 8, 4, 2, and mixture. All pipe.
Nice big bright chorus there. All right. What else we have?
The sub bass is pipe. And there's a 16-foot Holtz bourdon. And then the Swell flute 16-foot is borrowed. And that's with the Swell box open. It's very light. And then there's a 10 2/3 quint.
So that's extended from the Holtz
Holtz.
Gedeck there. And then
Then there's an 8-foot bass flute.
big ground sound there.
And then there's an 8-foot Hab bourdon. Talk about mixing German and French.
Yeah.
So that's an extension of the Holzgedeckt.
Very good.
And then there's a 4-foot Klein bourdon. that is an extension of the bass flute.
Okay. And then the reeds we have here are borrowed from other divisions. There are some real reeds, but they're borrowed from the Swell, and I assume that's probably it. And then some digital things in here. So that's all of the pipes in this organ. There's a lot of other digital voices we could spend a lot of time with, but there's just a couple of things I have to point out that are unique to this instrument. And there are pistons over here, and there's some toe studs that do it as well. Tell me what we have over there.
A bass drum,
Bass drum.
some timpani,
Okay.
a cymbal,
More crash. Very nice.
and I've never heard of a thunder.
Well, I've heard of a thunderstop. That was a thing to do in early organs where it would play a whole bunch of pipes at one time and give you a rumble. But I think this one, let's see what this one does.
This is actually a digital capturing of different thunder
Oh, okay.
claps. So you never know what you're going to get because each succession is a different sound.
That's quite a sound.
But I discovered it's under expression.
Wow. Interesting. Okay.
So the speakers are in the solo box.
I see. All right.
For some reason, the children love that stuff.
Well, I can imagine. I'm not sure where in my personal Sunday morning services I would use that, but I'm sure when the moment's right.
Good Friday service?
Maybe. Okay, good for you. When the moment's right, I'm sure it comes out. Yeah, that's a unique bit of this instrument.
There are interesting bells on this organ.
What is that called?
Jeffrey Bunn's Holsteinstern.
Okay, so cowbells.
Cowbells.
Again, not sure what piece of literature is going to ever call for that, but we've got it if we need it. So.
Well, there's a story about that stop. The organist asked the pastor if that could be used during the blessing of the animals. And the pastor said, "Thanks, but no thanks."
One more thing that's not unique to this organ, but a lot of new instruments have the pencil drawer right here underneath the keys. That's really amazing. You can store a lot of stuff under there.
Yes, it's
Out of
very
the way.
deep.
I'm kind of surprised. So, all right. Well, this is just a fascinating instrument. So, I guess we want to hear a little bit of it now, and I'm going to go check out and see what those chambers look like. So this organ is yet another one here in southern Florida that to access it, you must go outside. We walk around to the back of the church and there's a door here that lets us into the blower room. Now there's a vent there that vents air from the church, so we're not sucking air from outside, fortunately. But a ladder here goes up and directly into the chamber. So we've come up the ladder and we are here in the pedal and the grate division. Great chest right in front of us and some pedal here against the back wall. There's a look at the great chest as we go by. There's a ladder here at the end of the chest and we'll go up that ladder. So we see there are pedal chests above us. And here we are looking down at the grate and some of the pedal upperwork. But there's still more stuff above us even. So we've gone up to the top level. There's a walkboard here between two pedal chests with some of the pedal upperwork there. And some dividers there between two ranks that apparently didn't want to get along and needed to be separated so they would speak better. Looks like an old rank and a new rank. Some pedal trebles there against the wall, and then some of the bass stuff is against the back. So this is going all the way from floor to ceiling. There we have some speakers for our digital pedal stops. It's looking out into the church. On our way back down, I saw this other speaker here in the chamber, and I have no idea what this was for, or if it's still in use. Well, it's interesting and strange to see. So we're going to head back down the ladder all the way to the floor now. Here we are next to some pedal treble pipes, and there's a door that takes us into the choir division. The choir's on elevated chests there, one in front and one in back. And there is a very narrow metal walkboard above this choir chest, and that's how we get to the other side. So we're going to quickly climb up to the level of that walkboard. And I hope you don't get queasy about heights, because there's no handrails, there's no lip to keep you from stepping off the edge. But we can see that the choir pipes are all very full length in here. So we're going to quickly walk across this. This has been sped up. I promise I couldn't walk quite this fast across this walkboard. And then we see a new chest down here on the end. I don't know, I assume that was Bunn-Minnick that put that in. And we're looking back at the choir division. A little wider walkboard over here on these chests. So now we go down this ladder back to the floor level, and there's another door. We've just come through it, and now we are in the swell division. We've come up a ladder, and we are on the chest for the swell. Things are a little more sane in here. You can get to everything easily, except maybe those pipes along the back wall. I'm not sure how you reach those. There's our swell mixture. And then a two-sided speaker here for some of the digital stops in this division. As we can see, there's a ladder against the wall, so we go up that ladder through a hatch, and now we are above the swell in the solo division. And of course, there's only one rank of pipes in here, and that's our trumpet heroique. But lots and lots of speakers for all of the other sounds. And here we find something interesting. This is the cowbell stop. It's essentially a Zimbelstern with cowbells. And another thing that appears to not be functional anymore. Yeah, so apparently there was a cow moo as well. This appears to be a Vox Humana Sordon combination, something like that. Not sure. Here we see our amplifiers, our digital system, and then in the back, there appears to be an older Pedal 32 digital generator. I don't know the make. I've never seen something exactly like this before. Maybe somebody out there knows who made this. These amplifiers look like ones I've seen in both Allen and Rogers organs, so maybe it's something of theirs. Not sure. That's the organ. Well, I hope you enjoyed our tour today of the Schantz Bunn-Minnick Colby Organ here at the Pink Church, First Presbyterian Church of Pompano Beach, Florida. My thanks to Bob Vogel for all his help in getting us in and for playing and demonstrating for us today. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up down below. While you're down there in the description, you can also find the full stop list of this organ if you want to see some of the things we skipped over. We still have some more videos coming out from Florida, so make sure you're subscribed to our channel, click the bell for notifications, and thank you to all of our sponsors who helped us get here this week. If you'd like to become a sponsor of the Organ Media Foundation, you can do that by going to organ.media and clicking on support. That's all I'm going to say for now. We're going to head to our next location. Until then, I'm Brent Johnson. Thanks for watching.